Hello there, guys, and welcome to an episode of the Leicester Games podcast, number one. The podcast where we review things in sports, maybe such as wrestling, UFC, or sometimes football. But the topic of today will be WWE's Backlash. I was watching the show. I thought it was okay, to be honest. It did a lot better than what I was expecting it to do. I was expecting it to be really bad, especially with, 6 matches were planned, and then an hour or two before the show, Randy Orton versus Wyatt were off, but Wyatt ended up having a match anyway, but we will get into that. The show overall, like I just said, it was okay. It was nothing special. To be honest, I enjoyed it more than SummerSlam. I think you can put it up there with one of the better pay-per-views of the year. Not the best, probably comes in third or fourth, to be honest. But, we'll get into that in a bit. So, what we'll do today is we'll just start off with the pre-show. So, that was Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin. Now, the things that I took from this match is the crowd kind of into it. They weren't completely dead and such like that. It did have some good action, and it had a very nice tempo as well. To be honest, it's probably one of the better pre-show matches we've seen in a while. Apart from Cesaro versus Sheamus at SummerSlam. But, this was good. Baron Corbin did get the win in the end. Probably could have done with putting Apollo Crews over. Because he lost at SummerSlam, he lost to AJ Styles. So, yeah. Now, the rating, we've changed the rating system. Instead of the C plus 68, stuff like that, we'll just get C plus, just letter grades. So, what I've given this match is I've actually given it a C plus. It was good and all. It wasn't a bad match. It was probably more on the side of a good match, to be honest. But yeah, so that was Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin. Then we moved on to the main show where Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan opened the show just saying, we're going to beat Raw in ratings. It's our first SmackDown Live exclusive pay-per-view. Stuff like that. And then he introduces the women. Now, the women's title match was for the newly crowned SmackDown Women's Championship that had Alexa, Naomi, Natalya, Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, and Carmella. It was a good match. Probably one of the better women's matches of the year, if not probably ever. Certainly over the last couple of years. That triple threat at WrestleMania probably beats it, to be honest. But in terms of elimination, because it was an elimination match, we had Alexa Bliss gone first, Naomi went second, Natalya went third, Nikki went fourth, Carmella went fifth, and then Becky Lynch won. Everyone wanted Becky to win, but to be honest, I thought they were going to give it to Nikki Bella. But it was a very, very good match for a women's match. There was nothing really wrong with it, apart from Carmella being in the last two. She's clearly not ready. She was rushed up. She needed a good couple of months still in NXT, probably till the new year. Yeah, so all I can really say about this match is it was good, but it was nothing special. Well, no, it wasn't anything special in terms of some of the matches that we've seen inside and outside WWE this current year and over the last few years as well. So Becky Lynch, we'll see what she does going into No Mercy. I have a feeling they'll probably have like a 5-way to determine a number one contenders bout. I can see it either being Talia or Alexa Bliss. We'll find out on that one. The grade that I gave it was a B minus. It definitely wasn't in the C's, but it wasn't a B rated match. As I give John Cena and AJ Styles a B plus at SummerSlam, and it wasn't close to that really. And then next up, I believe we had the Usos versus the Hype Bros. This match was pretty dull. It wasn't a good match, and it wasn't really a bad match, but it really, really wasn't a good match at all. Mojo Rawley looked good though, to be fair, and the Usos come out in their I don't even know what attire you could call it, to be honest. But you know, they were the fully blown heels. Now, at the end of the match, they attacked Zack Ryder's leg and made him tap out. So the Usos went through to the finals. What I've done is I've given this a C minus because it probably was deserving of a D plus. To be fair, it wasn't good enough to get into the C, but I don't think it was that bad to get it into the D's. So a C minus is what we'll give that match. You know, the Usos, WWE gave us what we needed. What they needed really. They needed a overhaul because they were getting stale. And especially putting them with Roman earlier on in the year was a bad mistake. It was a really, really bad mistake. But they've gone heel now, so you know, if we're booing them, they're doing the job correctly, which is good. And then next up we had the Intercontinental title match. That match was bloody good, wasn't it? Wow, that was amazing for them too. Miz stepped up to the plate and Dolph Ziggler looked good as he usually does. Miz did retain. He won by Maurice spraying perfume into the eyes of Dolph Ziggler. I think it was meant to be perfume or something like that, but we all know it was probably just water anyway. So the Miz retained. It was very good in terms of action, and at the start, I didn't really notice it until yesterday. So I'm recording this on a Tuesday. I've rewatched some other matches as well. I believe they went for like a CM Punk kind of thing. I believe like Dolph Ziggler took him down, started punching Miz, and then got him in a rear naked choke or something like that. I didn't really clock onto it until I saw it in a Vine on Twitter. But you know, Vince McMahon and his humour. I find it funny. No, not really. But who cares what I think? Does Vince McMahon really sit there and think, "Oh shit, we've fucked up"? You know, Aaron doesn't like it. No, they don't. There's nothing more really to this match. It was just good. They both looked good, and Dolph Ziggler, I generally do think he will probably win it at No Mercy. Hopefully Miz goes on for a long while though, because he really, really has deserved that a lot. You know, what? I mean, he took a month off to film his movie, I believe. Did he? Yeah, I think he did. I think he took a month off in like July to August, something like that. I'm not too sure. So I don't think he'll be going off to film a movie anytime soon. I think he'll have the IC title probably till about Rumble or Mania time. And hopefully when he loses it, it ends up with someone getting a big payoff. So the rating that I've given that is a B. It was I don't think it was bad enough to be in the low B's, high C's, but it wasn't good enough to be in the high B's. And for me to give a low A, it's got to be special, to be honest. But yeah, so a B for the Miz. And then next up after that, I believe, we had Kane versus Bray, or the tag final. We'll just go on to Kane versus Bray now. The note that I've written down for this says Bray loses, lol. So earlier on in the show, Bray attacked Randy Orton and was targeting his leg, slammed a door onto it. Later on, Bray come out. It was announced that Randy Orton wasn't cleared to compete, so Bray made the referee count to 10 just so he could get his win by forfeit. And then Greg Hamilton was like, "But you will be having a match against this man." And you know what? At that moment in time, I was thinking, please, Samoa Joe, please. But then it turned out to be Kane. Yeah. Kane. It was a no holds barred match. It was pretty shit, to be honest. Randy Orton then comes out, distracts Bray, gets an RKO. Kane hits a chokeslam. Bray loses, lol. Bray Wyatt and pay-per-views don't seem to get along too well. But yeah, I've given that match a D+. Just for the way it was set up. False advertising as well. And the finish was fucking dreadful. They got a wrong... They should have just... Like, what are they going to do with Kane now? Have him lose to Baron Corbin at No Mercy? Like, really? The guy's 49. Why would you put him over Bray Wyatt? Like, it's just stupid. But oh well. Anyway. Then next up, we had the tag team final match. It was Heath Slater and Rhino versus the Usos. Yeah, it was a match. Yeah, it was a match. It was an okay match. The finish, though, a star. Nah, I'm joking. Heath Slater has now got a SmackDown contract. We'll see if he actually gets awarded that, because SmackDown's on later tonight. But Heath Slater and Rhino win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. How long do I think they'll have it for? Wouldn't surprise me if they lost it tonight. It wouldn't surprise me if they lost it at No Mercy. It wouldn't surprise me if they lost it in a 24/7 rule right now, because I don't see them having a long title reign at all. No Mercy at the latest, I'd say. In fact, probably Survivor Series at the very, very latest. I just can't see him having a long title reign. To be honest, I'd have Heath Slater go solo as a face. And I think he's hot enough right now. You know, if you keep building on him and then put him in a program with Rhino 1-on-1 and Heath Slater goes over, the crowd will be behind him, and then I'd say put him in an IC title picture. But we'll see how this storyline plays out. Hopefully they don't just forget about him after his SmackDown tag team title run comes to an end. The match rating that I've given that was a C+. And then the main event, we had the WWE World Championship match. It was between AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose. This was one hell of a match. It was long. It was about half an hour, I think. If not, might have been just shy of. Let me just see if I can find the exact time. Let's have a look. Just bear with me one moment. Sorry about this one, guys. Just trying to find the match length. No, it was 25 minutes and 1 second, apparently. Okay. I didn't realise it was that, but it felt longer than that. But, you know, it was a good match. It had solid action. AJ Styles looking like a star, as per usual. When does he ever not look like a star? Dean Ambrose looked okay. I'm just going to say one thing. They made the right decision in putting the title on AJ Styles. Now, I don't know if you guys can remember, but about June, July 2015, there were reports going around that WWE have changed their mind on Dean Ambrose. They don't think he's championship material, but obviously now they've decided to put him on that. At the time, I was thinking, what are they on about? This is ridiculous. He is over. This guy's a star in the making. Skip forward a year to his title run, and he proved me wrong. He proved that WWE right. In my personal opinion, I'll probably get hate for this. A lot of hardcore wrestling fans going at me for this. He was shit as a champion. He's just gone so downhill. It's just so boring and normal. Like, the way he talks is just so bland and so boring, Like, even in Dolph Ziggler program, he just doesn't, in all honesty, he doesn't look like he's interested. I don't know if that's meant to be his gimmick, but he really does not look interested in the slightest. Hopefully he can fix that, because I think if he'd have been a good champion, I don't think he'd have lost. It'll be interesting to see where Dean Ambrose goes now. Probably maybe a triple threat at No Mercy with Cena. Or maybe just a one-on-one rematch. But even after that, it'll be interesting to see where he goes, because this SmackDown roster is so small. It's unreal. He's going to go into a program with Baron Corbin's not over enough to go over Dean Ambrose yet. They could go with Bray Wyatt, or they could turn Randy Orton heel, or turn Dean heel and go for Randy Orton. But, the roster's a bit shallow at the minute. I have heard, though, that... Well, no, I haven't heard. It's been confirmed by Dave Meltzer himself. Roderick Strong's now with the company. Hopefully, they can teach him to cut a promo. Well, help him improve. He's not really that bad. And pump him onto SmackDown. That's what I'd do with him. I'd get Samoa Joe onto SmackDown as well. ASAP. I can't really say get championship off of Nakamura, because who's he going to lose it to? Well, Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, Hideo yeah, okay. I don't think we'll see Shinsuke Nakamura on main roster till about Mania. Anyway. But, we'll find out. Yeah, so that match was good. It went on a bit long. I did start to get a bit disinterested in the end. And I'm going to give it a B+. B+. Now, Backlash overall, it technically started 15 minutes late and finished 25 minutes early in terms of action. So this just proves how shallow that this roster is and can't handle a 3-hour show. I mean, it fits 2 hours perfectly. But that extra hour is really, really straining. It's really pushing it. Overall, Backlash surprised me. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was going to be as bad as what Fastlane was, because that was atrocious. Never in my life have I got halfway through a pay-per-view and turned it off. That's the truth. If I watch pay-per-view, I'll watch it. Right. Sorry, guys. I just had to pause it quickly for a minute. Where were we? Yeah. So I haven't... Yeah, we're talking about Fastlane. Yeah, I hadn't turned off a pay-per-view. I was expecting it to be like Fastlane in terms of quality. I was expecting it to be really bad and feel really slow and be really, 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 really boring. But you know what? It was good. It was a good show, and hopefully they can carry that going into No Mercy, and we'll see what SmackDown's like tonight. We'll find out if AJ Styles will be facing Dean Ambrose one-on-one, or if he'll be facing Cena. Now, that's the end of Backlash. We'll just move into a couple of topics. Now, the UFC buy rate obviously isn't out yet. It takes, a week or two for it to come out. However, I have had a look at the Wrestling Observer and other websites, and apparently CM Punk's worked. Apparently, they figure it out for like Google searches and statistics, other sorts of stuff like that. They was expecting about 400,000 buys, and apparently they are going to estimate that there was about 650,000 buys. Dave Meltzer said anything over, I think it was something like 270 was Punk. And if it gets below 270, CM Punk's a failure. However, 650,000 buys, if that does turn out to be the case, CM Punk's a draw. But again, that won't really matter in his next fight, unless they really build it up, which I don't think they'd waste so much money on him this time. But CM Punk, I can't see him fighting in the UFC again, but that's just my opinion. Also, during Raw last night, we'll just cover that a little bit. In the main event, Seth Rollins attacked Kevin Owens, and Mick Foley said there would be severe consequences. And then he restarted the match, and then Rusev distracted Roman Reigns, hit him with a Superman punch. Kevin Owens, pop-up powerbomb, boom, boom, boom. Raw last night was trash. It was not good at all. I haven't seen the TV rating yet, but it was going up against American football. I'm sorry if some Americans are watching this and I'm saying American football. I'm from England. Yeah, Raw last night was shit. 3 hours, and I'm still not adjusted to it after, what's it been, 4 years now? 3 years of it being 3 hours? Something like that. But also, SmackDown's on tonight, and we can hopefully look forward to that. Maybe we'll see. And the Cruiserweight Classic finale is tomorrow. We will crown a winner, and the Cruiserweights will be heading to Raw next week. Akira Tozawa, Noam Dar, Jack Gallagher, The Brian Kendrick, Grand Metalik, TJ Perkins, and some others. Zack Sabre Jr. has been approached, but he declined it we don't know the reason really. I'm guessing it's because of indie dates. Kota Ibushi is going back to Japan, so my guessing is Grand Metalik will win it. I think we'll see a Kota Ibushi Grand Metalik final with Grand Metalik picking it up. Also, news on the Cruiserweight Championship. Apparently, it's not expected to be at Night of Champions. It's expected to be a little tournament, like a 12-man tournament heading. I think they're keeping Hell in a Cell. I'm not too sure yet. I don't actually know, but yeah, I believe that's when they will crown a new champion. Also in the news, Vince McMahon has picked up an injury and requires surgery. Unluckily for the big man himself, Vince McMahon. Yeah. Also, last week we had Death or Decay, I believe that's what it was called. Despite it gaining a lot of interest, it turns out that it didn't actually help the TV ratings at all. I'm guessing people just held on to watch it on YouTube after. But yeah, guys. Also, UFC, Donald Cerrone, which we found out at UFC 203 anyway, versus Robbie Lawler is off. And on the New York City show, the main event is apparently going to be, it's not confirmed, Eddie Alvarez versus Conor McGregor for the lightweight championship. Not confirmed, just speculation as of yet. And also over this weekend, no, it was last week or the week before, UFC announced a shit ton of events going up to like UFC 207. And also 4th of October, UFC 204 in Manchester. This has not got a great response, as the fight's going to be on at 4 o'clock in the morning for people living in England. And I understand, UFC, more Americans are into it than any other country. I get that. But 4 o'clock in the morning, oh my god. I was going to stay up to watch that until they said that. I'm not staying up till 4 o'clock to watch bloody Michael Bisping versus Dan Henderson. I don't care about Michael Bisping. I'm from England myself. Personally, I think he was a bit of a twat and his voice annoys me. But then again, people from Manchester voices annoy me anyway. But that's going to be all for this week. Well, I'll say this episode because this podcast may not be up every week. So it's been a bit of a short one. Backlash wasn't really too much to cover, and there's not been much news elsewhere. But I want to thank you guys for listening in today. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, smash the like button and subscribe. And I shall see you tomorrow for a FM16 Middlesbrough episode. There we go. See you later, guys. Bye bye.